Hey, good morning. Christina here with Pinnacle. Wanted to go over this quarter's distracted driving safety training with you. It's 3 pages. I'm going to read through it, and then there are questions that you need to answer. There's 4 of them. There'll be a link right down there with the survey, so you can fill out those and get it into your terminal. So this quarter is distracted driving. I'm going to read through it. Distracted driving is the first portion, obviously. So the list of driving distractions that contributes to the crashes and injuries is long. Driving is a serious responsibility. It demands and deserves your full, undivided attention. We talk about that a lot in our trainings internally. Drivers, now that you're a commercial driver, you're far more responsible than you ever were driving your personal vehicle. So things that may or may not even be a ticket to civilians, things like driving without your seatbelt or failing to stop at a stop sign, little things like that. Those are the type of things that your contract can be canceled for because you're now a professional driver. So what is a distraction? It's anything that takes your hands, eyes, or attention away from driving. It could be a billboard, a passenger in your truck, something going on outside your truck, or even something as simple as trying to set the speed of your windshield wipers. Of course, you have to occasionally glance at your speedometer, fuel, and other gauges, but actions like changing the radio station, dialing a cell phone, reading a map, or using a navigation system while you're driving can lead to big trouble. In fact, one recent study showed that the driver distractions are a contributing factor to more than 8 out of 10 accidents these days. Among most common driving distractions are adjusting the radio. It says cassette, but we all know we don't have cassettes anymore. Other passengers or drivers in the vehicle, moving objects in the vehicle, using and dialing a wireless phone. You better not. Eating and drinking while driving, personal grooming, adjusting the vehicle's temperature controls, smoking while driving, outside distractions including accidents, vehicles stopped by police, friends and other vehicles, road advertising, and new construction. Our goal is to help you recognize driver distractions and give you tips on how you can avoid falling victim to them. Okay, cell phones. January 26th of 2010, the FMCSA announced the federal guidance that prohibits commercial and truck and bus drivers from texting while driving. Drivers who violate this federal regulation are subject to a civil and/or criminal penalty of up to $2,750. In other words, the enforcement community is taking the problem of distracted driving very seriously. The Virginia Tech Transportation Institute has been the leader in conducting comprehensive research on the topic of distracted driving and the commercial driver. The findings indicate that a commercial driver who is texting has the highest risk of being involved in a crash due to distracted driving, which was 23.2 times greater as the driver has his or her eyes off of the road of an average of 6-second intervals. At 55 miles per hour, this means a tractor trailer is driving the length of a football field without looking at the roadway. Virginia Tech also found that simply dialing a cell phone causes a driver to be nearly 6 times more likely to be involved in a crash, while simply reaching for something in the truck cab is even higher, at 6.7 times more likely for the crash involvement than a non-distracted driver. The FMCSA in early 2011 has issued a proposal which essentially states that a commercial driver will only be able to use hands-free cell phone while driving. The proposed civil fine could also go up to $2,750, and the trucking company that requires or allows a driver to use handheld phones could face a maximum penalty of $11,000. No thank you. Eating and drinking. From breakfast burritos to burgers and fries, eating on the run has turned into an everyday part of our lives. Who hasn't done it? French fries on your lap, a drink in one hand, a sandwich in the other, while your knees are doing the steering. Eating and driving is not only dangerous, it's messy, and fumbling with napkins, condiments, wrappers, and beverages means you're not watching the road. Here are a few ways to concentrate more on the road than on your burger. Allow yourself time to stop for a bite to eat. You've got to take a 30-minute break in the first 8 hours of driving anyway. Might as well grab something to eat. If you're part of a team, take turns driving and eating. Knobs and other distractions. Radio station buttons, CD and radio controls, volume and balance and fade, AC and heat knobs, fan speed and cruise control are some of the knob switches and buttons and controls you can adjust, switch on and off, or turn up and down while driving. All of them make travel more comfortable. You may think all the adjusting and changing is routine. After all, you've been doing it since you got your license. But inserting a CD or searching for a radio station makes you 6 times more likely to be involved in an accident than glancing at the fuel gauge or speedometer. Drivers often ask me, well, why is a UPS truck so uncomfortable? Now you know. Okay, next thing, don't let technology take a toll. Some technology, like anti-lock brakes or traction control, has helped make driving safer. Other technology, though, can cause you to take your mind and eyes off the road. There's a whole new generation in the vehicle of electronic gadgets designed to make you and your life in the vehicle more convenient and more comfortable. Wireless phones, Qualcomm, PeopleNet, mobile internet, and tablet PCs all fall in this category. And many newer vehicles even have an onboard navigation and rollover stability systems. But as communication and navigation technology becomes more and more common in vehicles, companies and local and state governments are taking steps to increase safety. Some systems cannot be programmed while the vehicle is in motion. If you're driving 60 miles an hour and look down for just 2 seconds to change a CD or adjust the climate controls, you have blindly driven 176 feet. That's more than half the length of a football field. Try these tips to keep your attention on the road. If you have a passenger, ask that person to reach across and change the radio or climate controls for you. Take advantage of normal stops and adjust controls. With more complex devices such as GPS and navigation system, you should take the time to stop in a safe place before giving them your attention. Truthfully, you should load all that information during your pre-trip inspection anyway, so hopefully GPS isn't something that you're dealing with while you're driving. The next section is pets and passengers. It's hard enough concentrating on the road without the distraction of pets and passengers, and adding in just one of these factors can make driving dangerous. Here are ways you can help avoid driving distractions in your own vehicle. If your company allows pets, which some of our divisions do, use a pet carrier or a portable kennel that limits the pet's ability to roam. I have harnesses and seat belts that I think I bought for $8 on Amazon for my dogs. Avoid arguments and minimizing distracting conversations while driving with a passenger or other drivers. Outside distractions. It's human nature to get a look at the scene of an accident or at cars that have been stopped by police. The urge can be almost overwhelming. The best advice is to don't do it. These things are never more important than staying focused on driving. Remember, letting your concentration be diverted by these common driving distractions can be deadly. Roadside activities such as accidents or vehicles stopped by police, friends and other vehicles, roadside advertising, construction areas, and scenic views. Other driving distractions. As you know, there are all kinds of other distractions that can take your attention away from driving. How many times have you seen people putting on makeup, styling their hair, or shaving while driving? How about people reading maps or directions or a newspaper or even a book? We all know smoking is hazardous enough, but lighting up, putting out cigarettes, or dealing with falling ashes while driving can be deadly. The safe solution is simple. Never do any of these while you're driving. Okay, lastly, the importance of keeping your concentration. Are you always prepared to avoid a car swerving in front of you? How about braking for a pedestrian who suddenly steps into your path? Can you steer clear of debris falling from a truck? Stay focused, pay attention, expect the unexpected, and follow these simple steps to help you and others stay alive. Always be sure you're properly buckled up, get plenty of sleep, and never drive while drowsy. Avoid aggressive drivers, and do not tailgate. Thanks, guys.